It felt something similar to what we've done at school before with another profile question. So I've done these kind of questionnaires before, so I was used to the feeling of it. But it felt different because for each of the categories, the questions we had was a variety of questions asked from different angles. So sometimes I felt like, why is the question being repeated? But then I also found myself answering differently even when it was the exact same question, just phrased in a different manner. And I found that to be really interesting as to how like a human brain works based on the way something is written. And in addition to that, I really enjoyed answering those questions because I had to think about them, but then I didn't have to overthink about them either, because I was more on the approach of whatever feels right now, I'll click that answer. And it wasn't questions that I could have just answered on the fly, like, oh, okay, that's my final answer. You had to think about it, but when you overthought about it, it didn't make sense anymore. I think for me it was a very enlightening experience because personally, I've always noticed that the way I did things or the way I thought about things, they were always significantly different to that of others. And that makes sense because everyone is unique as a person. But then at the same time, I had a feeling that I wasn't like others where I should be like others. And I always knew something was different about me. So this was one side of my thinking. And then I got the results, which were in here. I think having a conversation with the Motivation Profile Master helped me to bridge the gap, to help me understand myself better on why I was different in a certain category when compared to others. And I think specifically, it was when it came to curiosity. So since like 5th grade, after I went to AISC, it's when I started involving myself in a lot more activities. It was the age of like exploration for me. I started learning new things, doing a lot of different things, and no one really understood why I did that. Everyone just thought I did it for maybe the experience of it. And of course, experience played a role, but I did it because I was curious, because I was interested to do it. And I just thought I was maybe the one weird 5th grader who loved to involve themselves in everything, when in reality it was a natural thing for me to want to like know things, to discover things. And then again here, I had the experience, I got the results, but then I wasn't able to bridge it on my own. It really did help me to understand how others think and why they behave the way that they do. For instance, with power, I've always been a person that was really drawn to leadership, drawn to not controlling people, because that's not, in my opinion, what power means, more of leading people, guiding them. And I was also a person that thought really fast, did things really fast, comprehended things much different to the way the others did. And I always thought that A, others just didn't understand what I was saying, or B, something was not right about me. And I think in that age when I did it, it was natural for me to feel that way. So as soon as I started realizing, and after like the conversation, I realized that there was nothing wrong with either of us. It was neither of our fault. It's just that I thought differently to others, and sometimes people couldn't keep up with it, or they felt overwhelmed by the way I thought or how fast I thought and the way that I did things. And that was understandable. So after one point, I started looking for people that were more like-minded to me. And I think as human beings, we're always drawn to people that are very similar to us. So it was challenging for me to find people that were as fast thinkers as I was, or as power-driven as I was. But then with power, it's very interesting because when you have two best friends that really seek for power, it can result in conflict, because when you want power, you're more of like, how can I be more powerful than the other? So that was like one challenge that I faced. But at the same time, I liked being with people that, understood me. Like when I would explain a concept to someone, person A who didn't think like I did understood nothing. And that sort of agitated me, no matter how much I tried not to get agitated. Whereas someone who understood, it was just like, finally someone realizes that. And knowing this helped me to understand others so I can help myself based on that. I think the major way that this would help me is with career choices, of course, because after all of this, I realized a few major things. Firstly, I like to be in a collaborative environment. I like working with people. Like, I would definitely detest being in a job where it's a one-man team. So I want people to be around me. And then I don't want to work under someone. I want to be the boss. I sort of really am the person that infringes upon my ideals, my thinking. And when others don't agree to the way that I think, I try to comprehend their perspective, but I'm constantly in that phase where I sort of want to be the person, but I want to work with everyone else too. And I also want a job that doesn't, I guess, involve too much of strict working. I like creativity. I like the freedom that a job where I can do how I wish to do. That's something that I would enjoy. So I think knowing these characteristics and having them sort of as like validity instead of just thoughts in my head. It's when you have it on paper, it's going from your brain to another platform that analyzes it for you. So that would help me with like jobs and also with like future relationships and things. I could interact with people that I am more comfortable with based on what I know about myself, because I can't have everyone take a motivation profile and then just like test it out of like, oh, do you like that? Are you like that? I can't do that. So based on me, I can base things of how I do it. So that I think it sort of narrows down and would result in like less conflicts or less just extra stress, extra unwanted stress won't be there. I really would. I definitely would recommend it to others, because if you're like me or just anyone in general, we all have things that we think about, that we focus on. So if this is our cognitive functioning and these are the questions, answering those questions will get you to a state where you can merge your cognitive side and sort of your pragmatic, natural approach, just so you can understand yourself better. And I think nothing's more important than knowing who you are.